Today we have talked about community, about not being left alone, about being loved. We believe in a God who emphasizes the centrality of love as read in the passage from John 1. Love is always from God and a reflection of God. Any genuine love, no matter what form it takes, comes from God. Anyone seeking to follow God must seek to love others. We must trust that anyone who loves is also born of God. If we see that love in ourselves and give that love, it will create a community of love. I have been a member of this church for 18 years. The thing that stands out most to me about when my family and I first started attending was how warm and welcoming everybody was. Through the years, my life has changed, but this church has always been a supportive constant. I am here today to ask this congregation to take a journey, to show how welcoming, accepting this church is for all of God's children. As we heard in Genesis today, let us create mankind in our own image. In the Bible's creation story, God makes clear out of all creation that human beings are created in God's image. That God is referred to in the plural in this passage could even suggest the idea of God containing a diversity of identities within God's own mysterious and infamous self. The assurance that all human beings are created in God's image reminds us from the get-go that everyone is a sacred creation and that God's image is broader than our own experience and understanding. Someone may look different or love differently than you do, but simply by being a human, they reflect God's image. With this in mind, let us set out on this journey of becoming opening and affirming. I and a core group of members, including Laurel and Dave, are starting the process for our church to become opening and affirming. Opening and affirming is a covenant that the church will be welcome to all people, including LGBTQ. The reason we use the word covenant is that this is something we want to accept in our hearts, not just on paper. This covenant allows us to be the same welcome, loving church that we have always been, but letting a community who is often feel rejected for not being normal know that this is a harbor in the storm of loneliness and self-doubt. People part of the LGBT community often don't feel welcome in church in general. Religion has been used as a weapon against them. Where I know I can walk into almost any church and be greeted and befriended, those in the LGBT community hesitate to re-enter the church if in the past they have not been welcomed, or enter the church even to begin with because of the hate showed by certain religions. Many have been shunned and made to feel that they do not deserve God's love for living their truth. It can be hard to feel how this is even possible. The stories I have heard and read from LGBTQ youth are heartbreaking. In many of those stories, kids are made to feel lesser than, unwanted, tossed out by their family, their friends, society, and their church. Our ONA covenant would allow anyone to feel welcome here. Again, let us be that harbor. Let us be that beacon of love and kindness for those looking for refuge. This is a very personal journey for me. I have two children, Nick and Haley. Nick was confirmed in this church, and Haley was both baptized and confirmed here. My oldest child, Nick, is transgender. She was born Nicole, and about 3 years ago, Nick started his transition from female to male. I always struggled with his place in this world, with his place within himself. Being very smart, yet very introverted, he often struggled both socially and emotionally. When he came to me his second year of college and told me he had something very important to tell me, I knew that thing could change our lives forever. I have always loved and accepted both my children, no matter what. But this was not an easy journey for me. I worried for both his safety, and I worried about the acceptance of friends, colleagues, and family. My background is I came from a two-parent home, two loving parents, and my older sister. My parents have always been loving and supportive for me, my sister, and our families through thick and thin. This transition, though, I thought might be the thing that they could not understand or accept. I worried that it could possibly divide our family in a way that could not be mended. Through counseling, talking with my sister and a close friend, after 6 months, we decided it was time we needed to tell them. This is not something that you can just hide in the closet. It is something that you have to be upfront about the people that you care about. Together, Nick and I explained to my parents what was going to happen. In their loving, supportive way, as they always have for their family, they accepted it with not a blink of an eye. They wrapped me and my son in their arms and told us both that they loved us no matter what. As I look back now, I often wonder how I could have ever doubted that love. Because everything that my parents had showed me was unconditional love. And that is also how I feel about this church. I have always felt unconditionally loved. I have also seen the downside of having a transgender child. I have heard derogatory remarks about transgender people and gay people. I myself continue to work on being non-judgmental. It is very easy to judge others, but we must constantly try to see them for themselves and not how we think they should live and how we think they should be. A few years ago, we started going to the Pride festivals in Omaha, and it opened my eyes to a lot of different types of people. Sometimes people don't look normal, but that does not mean they are not people with a story, with a caring heart, and somebody who needs to be cared for. I have been lucky in my life to be surrounded by open-minded, loving people whom I work with, who are my friends, and my family. And I include the church when I talk about those people. Sadly, though, many in the LGBT community do not have that support. As I have been discussing this covenant with Haley, she has commented on how proud and excited that she is that we are embarking on this. As a member of the LGBT community herself, she knows that this place is always a home for her, that her church will always be a place of sanctuary, no matter who she chooses to love. I ask you today to be a beacon for all of those people. The love this church has to give is immense, and I truly want us to share this love and God's love with everyone. As I began my research into the ONA process, the thing that I found most exciting is that the covenant can help us grow as a church. Young people in their 20s and 30s are seeking a church for them and their families. They are looking for a church where they can raise their families knowing their children will be accepted no matter what their truth will be, no matter what their truth may be. This is a generation looking for a church that reflects their life views, and I feel our church reflects that feeling of community, fellowship, love, acceptance, and faith. Growing this church, bringing young families and dynamic new people should always be our goal. And this is one way that goal could become a reality. The churches growing in UCC are ONA churches. It may feel like a label, but this is a good and positive label for those searching for a church. Because when we think about labels, labels are nothing more than showing us exactly what is inside something. And what we have inside is pretty amazing. Most importantly, this covenant will not change the church we are, but let everyone know what a wonderful place it is for all people. We will, in the following months, have events and activities to show the impact of opening our hearts to LGBT community, plus offering one-on-one sessions with our core group. This is a journey for all. We hope to hear everyone's voice. This will kick off on October 21st with a lunch and a movie. It's a documentary about LGBT and the church. And then this will wrap up at our annual meeting with a vote on whether we do choose to embark on this covenant. So I leave you with Romans 15, chapter 7. Accept one another just as Christ accepted you in order to bring praise to God. Let us pray. God, guide our congregation through this journey with love and compassion. Give us the strength so that we may help those in need of love, faith, and compassion. In the Lord's name I pray.